back in action today. A very, very windy day in the New York area curtailed our racing at Aqueduct. We're back for a 3-day weekend, and that's going to be the case through the Wood Memorial. We'll be racing 3 days a week, and through that Saturday, April 4th card, Friday through Sunday, the Big A, Anthony Stabile, as most days, will be to my left, and he's there right now, fresh and ready with a new haircut. I, on the other hand, didn't get one, but I will. Anyhow, head over to NYRABets.com. If you're not a member, we'll match up to a $200 deposit bonus. New members only. The promo code is Big A. We are offering a 20% winner's bonus in the early pick 4, races 2 through 5, our 8-race card today at Aqueduct through the app only. That's on the early pick 4. What else do we have going here, Anth? We've got the Gotham Betting Challenge, Saturday, March 7th. That's next Saturday. You have until this coming Thursday, March 5th, till probably 5 p.m. That's what it usually is. Go to NYRA.com/challenge. $500, half towards the prize pool and half towards your live bankroll. Play it on track, but also play it with NYRA Bets. But come on out and visit us. It's going to be a nice week next week, and come out for Gotham Day, always sort of the beginning of spring, kind of, as we come to the Big A. Also, we got the cross-country Big 5 tomorrow. All these races will be on the FS2 America's Day at the Races show. Hopefully, it'll start at 4:13 with the Tampa Bay Race 8. Then we go to Aqueduct for Race 7, Oaklawn Race 6, Aqueduct Race 8, and Oaklawn Park Race number 7. That's our feature, the Bernardini, tomorrow. Also, want to let people know, if you want to watch the Saudi Cup, it is on FS1 at noon tomorrow, noon to 1. And keep in mind, tomorrow's Talking Horses will be noon to 12:35. 12:40 is the scheduled post for the Saudi Cup. You can watch that on FS1. That's presented by Run Happy. And also, the racing show on FS2 will be from 3 to 6:30. The MIG, Greg, and Maggie and I will be here, covering the action. Acacia and Lafitte are down in Florida as well. We'll be showing some Oaklawn races and all of the races in the cross-country Pick 5.
Yes, and we'll get off Talking Horses a little early tomorrow, so you can watch that Saudi Cup.
Yeah, normally it would be 12:25 until 1.
Yes.
And post time goes till 7 o'clock at night, starting Sunday? Night racing starts again?
That show, the Saudi Cup, that's limited commercial interruption as well. Oh. Run Happy, so a lot of continuous coverage there. And then we starting Sunday, 1:30. I don't like to correct you, pal, especially since we haven't been together for 6 days, but we'll actually
Why are we going from 1:20 to 1:30?
I don't know. We'll actually start with Memorial Week on Thursday.
We want to confuse people a little more about our post times?
I think we're good from 1:30 now, from now until...
Some people are until we change it again. There used to be you probably never really watched Monty Python's Flying Circus.
No.
They're very great. I just got Netflix, by the way, and it's on there. But the whole it's an hour.
You're very excited about your Netflix account.
Very excited.
Very excited.
Yeah, I watched Broadchurch last night. I really liked that.
Okay.
I was watching that with my mom. But there was an episode on one of the skits in Monty Python's Flying Circus was Confuse a Cat. And I feel like that's sort of like what's going on with post times around here. We're just constantly being confused.
It looks like 1:30 is going to be pretty steady.
Until it isn't.
Through Belmont.
Until it isn't.
I think we're going to be.
Until it isn't.
I think it's going to be all right through Belmont.
Until it isn't.
All right.
Until it isn't.
We're back that Thursday.
I'm not falling for any of that nonsense. Anyhow, race number 1. We scratched down to 4. Started off with a 4-horse field. Let me guess. You like Chad Brown's Fivola?
I do.
I'm shocked.
I do.
Did not see it coming.
Right? You didn't see that. You would have said, you know what? Three-Eyed Raven came out of here. That's a Game of Thrones reference. The Three-Eyed Raven knows everything.
Really?
I texted Gio.
How could Eric Gio have a horse named for something that knows everything? He knows nothing.
I texted Gio.
The man who knows nothing with a horse that knows everything?
I wanted to know if the horse who knew everything could tell me who was going to win the second today, so I could have made a call like the early double.
Eric's having a big year. He's been on Fuego. His horses have run very well.
A lot of hunt and peck.
I like Eric. I like to make fun of Eric, but I like Eric. Good sense of humor. Fun guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about this horse. He ran.
This horse did no running that day. Does it bother you at all?
Yeah, but he's dropping in, and I mean, he's not going to have to do.
It's a weird track that day because the rail was very, very strong, but I don't feel like horses ran okay off the rail. It wasn't one of these things where the rail was such an advantage you had to be on it, but horses definitely were elevated by the rail. You'll probably win this race. We'll take a look at First Degree and Cause I Said So running second and third. And one of the reasons that Fivola is a likely winner is this is an ugly race. It's just so hard to take the horses out of this race. These horses were bad, man.
It's a nice way to put it.
Track was very fair. Forward horses did well, but it seemed to be much more situational than really a track bias. And it just felt like these horses just did no running at all.
Yeah, you see the comments says, cause I said so, it's a bobbled starter. I don't know how much that really.
You got like a bowl cut going on there.
Yeah, you know, I kind of told Ruben yesterday just to clean up the sides and take the beard down a little bit. And I don't know. I didn't know how I felt about it this morning. I forgot in the shower, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
But I'll be okay.
At least you took a shower today, which is rare for you, so that's good.
It's a Friday. It's Friday, right? Yeah.
Believe me, listen, with all the dark days here, I shouldn't be making fun of anybody for not taking a shower on a daily basis. I could stay up for 4 days and never take a shower.
I had 4 hours of radio yesterday, and when we announced the cancellation, I was just like, man, I don't want to take a shower. I don't want to do anything. I just want to stay in my house. Can't you do it from home? The equipment's up.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, you got to come to the Big A.
It was windy here yesterday.
Okay. Why did I take a shot with colloquialist?
If you're ever going to take a shot with a horse, it's this
First
kind
of all,
race.
Because if the 2 or 6 win here, I'm not winning. And I didn't really, the other horse scratched. I did have this horse on top originally. It's not like I scratched into him. This horse ran a little bit. It turns out that Toledo race wasn't a terrible race, and he gunned off the lead before completely stopping. Then they tried him for some reason at a mile, and he gunned off the lead and stopped. He's been gelded. Joey Martinez just sent him the lead. The race is easier. I just thought, if this is not the worst time to take a shot with this goofy horse, because one thing, and I think you'll agree, Anthony, these horses that show speed like that, they've got some ability. They're not like horses just trail all the way around the track.
At the bad, I will always take, and I preach this a lot on HRN as well. Covering the races around the country, you deal with a lot of cheaper races. Give me a bad, cheap speed horse as opposed to a bad, cheap closer any day of the week.
I'm with you.
Any day of the week.
Race number 2. I'm a little surprised that you picked this horse, No Deal. Why do you like No Deal to come back and win again today?
I just think that the trainer switch off the claim last time, I think it did some wonders. And, look, she was probably keeping better company.
But isn't she a last time was the time horse, Ann?
I mean, yes and no. Because I don't think she's going to be much different of a price today.
Yeah, but this is a much better field.
With the 2 actress horses. I understand that, but I also think that, when you combine with the trainer switch last time, the tactics last time, which, I got to be honest, going 7 furlongs, I don't see her facing a lot of heat in here.
Well, I think Daria's Angel's going to be sitting right outside of her, and she's a better horse. For what it's worth, Chris Englehart, second off the claim off a win in the dirt at Naira. He's just 1 for 14. His numbers are a little better at other racetracks, but still, at Naira he has not done well. And the basic problem I have with this horse, besides the fact I bet her last time, that was a gold rail last time. And she rode the gold rail to victory last time, which dresses up her performance. And you don't mind Junior Alvarado to Andre Worry?
Look, I mind all of those things. The way I looked at this race is kind of similar to the way that you looked at the first.
And she's got to get 7 too, Ann.
She does. She does.
Not that she hasn't run okay at 7.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to a battle between her and the 2 actress horses, she is going to be the best price by far.
But I think for a reason she's going to be, because she's a less likely winner.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's going to be significant. You think she's going to be significantly higher than the bottom horse? I'll tell you one thing, if the bottom horse is favored, Miss Jack, over Daria's Angel, Miss Jack's going to win. I'll tell you, Daria's Angel's not going to win, because Daria's Angel's supposed to be heavy favorite here.
Listen, I agree with you with the times time. I can tell you this. If they all run, if No Deal runs her last race, she's going to beat these horses.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Her last race gives her no chance to beat these horses.
Wow.
She rode a gold rail last time.
Okay.
I think that you need to look at those track trends a little bit more closely. Daria's Angel, I don't love the layoff. I don't disagree. But consistently, she runs faster races. I thought that one of the 2 Rob Atras horsewomen, I've seen this song and dance too many times, and Rob seems to win in these cases. I don't like No Deal last time, who I think is dressed up by circumstance in her last race. Why is she lucky is just not good enough. I think it's a case of the trainer getting a little bit overly ambitious when he got a little bit fortunate to win a race 2 back. That's a horse that was on that rail I talked about in the first race. The Chad Brown's horse was off the rail. Race number 3 is quite a doozy, huh? We'll take a look at Mills winning the race. The problem is you get Mills home for the 7th time in his career, this 10-year-old. And now you want to bet him back at 4 to 5 morning line.
Listen, we have to make a pick in this race.
I understand. I understand. That's fair. No, I get it. Right.
You know what I mean? And I listen. We can
Gotta
count
get a
on
mile
one
and eighth.
hand.
He's never won around 2 turns in the
We can
dirt.
count on
Mile
one
and
hand
eighth.
how many times you and I say that throughout the year on this program, right?
No, this is a
certainly was
ridiculous
the
race.
one.
I bet him last time. I liked him last time. Got a nice trip and he got up. He runs his last race. He's probably going to win this race because this is an extraordinarily difficult race to have an opinion, but I cannot pick this horse on top.
Fair enough. Really, fair enough. You know, I went through this. Lucky Ramsey is likely going to be the second choice in here.
Can't run in the dirt.
I want no.
Can't run in the dirt. I scratched him as my third pick when the 1 scratched, but I agree. I mean, you're right. I probably should have the 3 ahead of him. I'd probably been 4, 5, 3, 7. Okay, as far as calculated risk, no question, his career may be coming to an end. He hasn't run at all. But obviously, something went wrong last time, and that was that snow card, big inside speed track, and he was just, lost out there, 3 wide in the first turn. It's almost like his race was over a 16th of a mile into the race. Believe it or not, the time before it is close enough that it gives him an outside chance. It's Ray Handel. He's got back races. He may be a finished product. Look, it's not like you have him third. See, I think he is clearly the second likely winner because, like you, I think the key in this race is I don't like Lucky Ramsey either.
You know what it was? I didn't like Lucky Ramsey. I got to be honest with you. I feel like he's just.
You may be right about calculated risker. He may be finished.
You know what I mean? He might be done. And this horse, at least purchasing power, the 2-turn races are better than his 1-turn races, and he's second the 2 times he goes to 9 furlongs. Like you said, Mills have never. Listen,
this rider.
I hate betting.
Anthony, this rider.
I hate betting these horses that are only condition claiming winners. But listen, Mills is going to be 2 to 5 in this race.
No, he's not. Maybe he is.
Who are they
Mills
bet?
at 7 for $1 million. It's going to be 2 to 5.
Yes.
This rider on the 3. That's why I have the 3 so much lower. I can't. I've seen him ride. I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's hard to really. It's hard
can't
to
do it, Anthony.
I know. Listen, it's hard to really hold true to your handicapping principles when you have to get through a race like this.
This is a really ridiculous race. Well, I liked Papa Jim in race number 4. I thought he was a kick in the pants.
Wow.
I'm sorry to see him scratched.
Okay.
I guess we both have seed money, and he's probably just the best horse in this race, right?
Yeah, he's the best horse in this race. Papa Jim's scratch obviously helps Baseman Dave a whole lot.
But Baseman Dave was such a bad field last time, and he had everything go his own way, and he still didn't win.
Yeah.
Guys, we got to move on to race number 4.
We
did.
Yeah,
they were showing the.
It was unfortunate that he got cut down. Yeah,
he should have won last time.
He should have won last time.
And the thing about seed money is he's supposed to be stalking him. I think now Eric Cancel's going to see a little more sense of urgency and get him in the game a little, get him on top of that horse.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, Our Storm and Norman never wins.
Seed Money's running against a little bit better. He's just going to be stacked outside this horse. I got to be honest with you. I think they're the only 2 in here. Just 3 and a 7.
Oh, I don't agree. What about mandatory payout getting back on a dry track?
I don't know.
I don't like Baseman Dave. He should have won last time. I just don't like it. He is helped by the scratch.
I know, but he's helped a lot by the scratch.
What about the dry track? See, the dry track. For a guy who's obsessed with wet tracks, to not think mandatory payout is a little bit more possible in here, because he picks up Manny Franco and he gets back to a dry track for the first time in 4 starts. And if you go back to his dry track races, they're faster than his wet track races.
No, much faster. And I think you have to make the decision as to whether or not the last few results are a result of the wet track, or if this horse was claimed from Rob Actress and you've seen a little bit of a decline. Now, if you're right and it was the wet track, you're going to get 7, 6, 7.
Well, the first 2 races for Jimmy Ryerson were fine. Yeah. They were on dry tracks. The horse more likely seems to have fallen apart on wet tracks.
Just the wet tracks. Well,
I'm not in love with him.
I got you.
And I don't love seed money at a super short price. I really preferred Papa Jim, and I thought he and seed money were one of those 2 almost had to win this race. Now, I don't like to say seed money has to win this race because he doesn't.
I don't. Right. It's hard to say that, but and again, like I said, Baseman Dave helped with the scratch of the 1. It's just so hard to endorse a horse like Our Storm and Norman. The horse hasn't won in 3 years.
I know, but I still think he's the second.
You're trying to get this horse home and Mills on the same. Go back to the rolling double,
Mills.
right? No,
I didn't pick Mills.
I know you didn't.
I'm not putting Mills on top.
The Royal Bay.
The Royal Bay. Royal Bay.
The Royal Bay. There was a they knew yesterday at Gulfstream, boy.
I
boxed the 2 horses to finish second.
The 8-to-1 shot.
The 8-to-1 shot.
The 8-to-1 shot in that turf sprint, the 5th race. You mean?
No.
You didn't think that horse was awfully funny?
Yeah, that horse was a short price.
That horse got bet in his debut, and he showed speed, and he was eased, and he came back on the turf with absolutely no turf pedigree. You see who his sire was?
There was an 0 for 11.
Here's his sire. His sire was Fort Loudon. Who trained Fort Loudon?
No, it was Fort Larned.
Fort
it was
Loudon.
Fort Loudon? I don't remember.
It's an insult to your paisan, your buddy, Nicholas P. Zito. He ran second in the... What grade 1 did he run second in New York? Come on, dude.
Oh, God, I don't remember
You forgot.
this.
Wow, I asked it on
I don't
Twitter
remember
yesterday.
this horse.
People got it right away.
I don't remember this horse.
He ran second in the King's Bishop behind
Oh, wait.
a very infamous winner. I think it was the race before the dead heat in the Travers.
Was it Willie Beeman?
Correct, when he came back on 2 or 3 days rest from Rick.
He won the Albany.
Yeah, he won the Albany and he came back.
won
And I bet Fort Loudon 10-1 for Nick. I watched those races.
I bet the second horse in that. I liked the second horse in that race. It was like 9-1, and then the other they knew the horse was 0 for 11, broke the maiden for 20, came back in the 2 life, and ran down the center of the track at 2-1 like he was Steinle. I was 15-1 and 12-1 and then 2-3.
Here's a question for you. Nick Zito came very close to winning both the King's Bishop and the Travers. Many will forget that he was a fast-closing third, right behind Alpha and Golden Ticket in that Travers. Who was that horse?
I need that horse for second. If Golden Ticket doesn't run,
Who was the horse? What was his name?
I don't remember. It was a wild price.
Huge price.
38-1 or something.
My favorite, Nick said to me after the race, if I had been a little luckier, it could have been a triple dead heat. I said, if we would have been a little luckier, you'd have won.
I bet 2 exact.
Back-to-back years, right? Nick got tough beats in the Travers because Fly Down was the year before.
I bet 2. No, Fly Down was 10. And that was 12.
That was 12, correct. You're right.
I bet 2 exactas in that Travers. Alpha with the horses that ran 3rd and 4th.
Who was a Richie Pell horse?
It was a Richie Pell horse. They ran the 2 exactas in were 3rd and 4th. They were 38-1 and 27-1.
Yeah, 27-1 was the price of Nick's horse.
Some crazy.
Someone text me. Who was the name of that Zito? Or somebody tell us on Twitter. The Travers.
I can't remember the name of that horse.
I watched those races in the box with Nick.
Golden Ticket had to cost me $15,000.
Golden Ticket. Okay, race number 5. I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed in Orlando Noda. Because he's a lot of fun on Twitter. He is.
He's
great on Twitter. But he really doesn't have the sense of humor about first line that he should. He does not like it when I tease him about first line. He's not, I can tell, because he didn't like the tweet. He was not happy when I joked about the big horse speak. You thought he'd be in there?
I didn't see
Gotham prep. Still 8 days.
1 week?
No. I'm going to give Orlando some credit here, first of all.
Love Orlando. He's great.
I'm going to say Fast Falcon. Nick Tamaro right in with the Fast Falcon. Nick Tamaro clearly has no life, and he's watching us today. First line, I like the fact that they're getting more realistic with him. He's going back to 6 furlongs. It's almost like he's saying, okay, probably got overambitious first time, should have run a mile, let's try him in a sprint. He was over the top with his he's my Derby horse thing, but I'm going to bet you this horse can run, and I'm going to bet this horse today if he's 4-1 or 7-2 or something.
Yeah, this was another one of those races where I felt like I felt very comfortable with 3s and 6s.
Your horse is the horse to beat. It's a wrap. I'll let you talk about him.
Yeah, Brinkers go on. We were talking funnily. Oddly enough, we were talking about Guillot. Sixto won that race that we were talking about with the horse in the first race as well.
He's running the Gotham too, right?
I believe so.
Sarah coming down, or
I believe so.
They're taking the covered wagon down from Saratoga.
I think he's hanging out with his
hitchhiking down.
With Olivia today, with his daughter.
Hitchhiking down.
So he's with her. So, yeah, I mean, this horse is second time, first time blinkers now. Michelle's Born starting to heat up, and
well, it's not just starting to heat up. Michelle's Born was just going through a slump, and her horse has been running very well. The problem I have with this horse is twofold. First of all, this horse was 6-5 first time, was supposed to win, and it's not like the horse took a tough beat. The other thing is, this horse was on a good rail for the majority of the race, till drifting a little bit in the stretch, and wasn't able to take advantage of it at all. This horse is the horse to beat in here. I'm not denying it, but this horse is supposed to get the money first time.
He also ran, but I'm going to tell you what, Andy. I feel like he ran like a stereotypical first that it needed the.
But he was 6-5. He's not supposed to.
I don't know if you can worry that much about that.
You and I will have to agree to disagree.
Okay.
When they're 6-5 like that, they're supposed to win.
Yeah,
especially for Michelle.
Especially
for Michelle.
I know
because
what you're saying.
It means the horse was ready.
I know what you're saying.
I don't disagree. What about first-time starters? You've got Linda. You got David Donk on the rail. Not so easy. That's a big turf family. There's a couple dirt runners.
That's what I was thinking. It was more turf, and maybe just getting ready for the, well, I mean, if this weather holds up, we're going to be on turf in 5 weeks.
Munnings has turned out to be a very good sire.
They go long. They'll go long too.
Well, who's the good horse he's got now? He's got a good.
That's what I was.
Is it that horse that won the horse that won the Southwest? Is he a Munnings?
I think he is.
Or is it one of the horses that? No, or is it Mr. Monomoy? Mr. Monomoy a Munnings? One of those horses that won in that card is a one of those. One of those horses is a Munnings.
Yeah.
He was an unlucky horse, Munnings. Do you remember why?
No.
He hated a wet track, and it poured every time he ran. It poured before the Vosburg, and it was nice all day, and it poured when he was
at the wet track. See, I thought he broke his money though on Rachel.
Got a text from a Florida dog track from my friend Bob, by the way.
Rachel's Oaks Day on a wet track. I want to say I watched that race in a hotel in Louisville.
But he was unlucky in those situations. The 7 on the outside for Lyndon. I know that Linda Rice doesn't win with a lot of first-time starters, but this is a City Zip. It's a fold of some nice horses. I think Zion Bay is one of them. And there's 2 very solid runners from that family. So I'm wondering if this horse could be a runner for Barry Schwartz. Bought this horse at auction, not a homebred. Not sure today will be the day, but Spitball, I think, is one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I would keep an eye on it. Just like I said, as far as, and again, this is in both pick 4s, in both pick 5s.
I noticed Orlando did not tell David Grenning that this was a prep for the Belmont or whatever. Wood? There's always the Wood. No, he learned.
He was in the 3 and the 6.
But I'm still going to respect that this horse can run.
Me too.
Take him on top today.
Race 6 today as well. I think that's a good sign. I think that's an important sign.
Race number 6. Race number 6. So we had a big disagreement last time, and there's some truth to the disagreement. See, I think that the disagreement last time about Lucky Move was you thought there was a 2-turn horse. I disagree. I think, and I was talking about it with David Aragona because he actually sides with you a bit on that. I don't think it's a 2-turn. I think this horse is a distance horse. I think that was a point you were also making, but I think it's this horse wants more distance. You know, I picked her on top because this field is just weak. She's just supposed to beat these horses today, isn't she?
And with horses like Play Me a Memory and Little Song, and even if Might B comes back to some of her old races, there at least should be, I'm not going to say they're going to be blazing.
Yeah, Dylan's going to come out flying. At
the very least, there should be a little pace on it here. And like you said, I just think she's better than these
Warrior's Charge is the Munnings.
Oh, so that's the Brad Cox horse that's going to win the Oakland Handicap.
I don't know. He's a good horse. I knew it was one of those horses that weekend. There's a lot of horses in my brain.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
There's speed on him here. I mean,
I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that slow. The thing is, I've been a fan of Play Me a Memory at different times. I have trouble seeing her wiring this field at even money unless we have a big inside. I will say one thing. I think the great Joanna is going to run a lot better today. I think you're making a mistake leaving this horse. Anthony?
I think she's just wrong. I think she needs a break.
Anthony, you need to watch her last race.
I agree.
You need to watch her last race.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And I'm going to tell you something else. She was right down the rail, and the more I'm looking at that day, I'm thinking that rail might not have been the pace to be that day, and she just was totally wrapped up on the stretch.
Dancing a lot of dances, Andy.
I get it. I don't love her either.
She's
not that good. I get all that stuff, but I know that you're going to. If Mike Tenuzzo saddled Lassie, you'd have him first, second, or third. So I understand.
What's wrong with this horse?
This horse can't be this. By the way, once again, for a man that's obsessed by water, you're picking a water horse in this race on a dry track.
What was wrong with the race against Veradia 4 back?
Anthony, this horse is a water horse, and you know it.
Here you go. What are we at? 40?
40. 40.
2.
What's the bet?
2 versus 3.
Yeah, I don't have the best of that. I don't know.
9 to 2, 5 to 1. What else do you have the best of?
All right, I'll bet you 2. I got 3 over 2.
When I was finishing the workup yesterday, I said, she's run. This is going to be her 10th race in 7 months for a horse that had a year layoff. That's a lot of racing, and maybe last time. Listen, I know what you mean last time.
Anthony. I don't know what happened last time, but she didn't run a race.
Listen, I'm just saying.
I mean, you've got the 6th third. The 6 is about as much chance of hitting the board in this race as you and I in a horse suit. I mean, come on. You're being unrealistic. Might be isn't impossible. Is it possible here? Last race was actually pretty good.
Where did that race come from last time?
Right?
Was she just getting back? Maybe she was just getting back into shape. I don't know. She was gone 11 months.
Sometimes she could win this race. But she's a better horse on the engine.
At times she would have buried this. If she went to the front, it would have been over.
She's on an engine horse, and what's she going to do with Play Me a Memory in here?
She's going to look. Well, look. At the very least, last time she came to life a little bit and showed that she might be able to work out a trip off of a horse like Premium Memory here and just stalk her and hope she can get the mile.
I just think Lucky Move is too good for these horses.
I do too.
I will say she didn't blow the break as much as just sort of take herself out of the race early. I mean, she was a little erratic.
She kind of just like falls out of it. I can't explain it better. She kind of just like falls out of there and then.
She may be better off not breaking from the inside. She may have been a little intimidated breaking so much inside of horses, too.
Yeah, I think that'll help.
Race number 7. We'll take a look at the Caretaker. I don't trust the Caretaker. This is the Caretaker's win 2 back. I will say without question, if the Caretaker runs this race or the race before, I love the second horse in this race, Charlie McCoy, and I was right. He ran a winning race. The Caretaker just ran like a wildebeest.
Yeah.
Do you really like that Rudy's running this horse for $40,000, or he claimed it for $40,000? Because this horse has an excuse last time. A, Rudy ran him back too soon, and he admitted that. And also, that was a very forward track and forward race. And he had no chance the way the race was run. And there are other New York bred stakes coming up, and Rudy's sort of saying here, I had enough, I'm out.
Well, what's wrong with that? I mean, Vinny Scuderia owns the
But that's a negative. What's wrong with that? If he felt he could compete in New York bred stakes, he wouldn't be running them for 40.
I mean, I don't know.
Anthony.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think maybe he was a little discouraged by last time? He doesn't think this horse is a New York bred stakes horse?
No, what do I think? I don't think the horse is doing as well as he was doing before.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay.
And for a horse that turned his life around overnight, I don't like that. Not saying he can't win, because he obviously can, but I don't trust this horse as far as I can throw him.
Okay. Fair enough.
Didn't you miss the boat with Summer Bird and Bourbon last time? You got him sacked. Oh, Rudy, this is a Rudy. You going to see Rudy later today?
And you got to tell.
That's right, you did. You got to tell Rudy. You got to tell Rudy that you picked him 1-2 in here. You going to see him?
I probably see Rudy today.
I got $20.
Very busy today.
Really? What do you got going on?
I'm calling the 4th. I have a ton of radio to do. It's a very busy day, Andy.
All right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to imply that you're not a busy man. Who you like in the Fountain of Youth, by the way?
I very begrudgingly like Dennis's moment.
I very unbegrudgingly like Dennis's moment, but we'll get to him after the show.
Like Country Grammar.
Let's go through these races. I really like this horse, Le General.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, Hushin actually ran well in this race also.
Yes, he did.
But Le General got caught in this just insane pace last time. There's too much speed for him today. With the outside post, he's going to be stalking. I think his effort last time showed that he's coming back to the good form he has. Once again, Michelle's barn's come a lot liver since this race. This was like the final straw, and she started winning after this. He ran very, very well. The good Le General can stalk and win this race, and I'm going to take Le General. I like Le General today.
Yeah, this was a good effort.
He was much the best in this race.
His number comes back a little. The number comes back a little slow.
Because he was buried in the pace.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good effort.
I'm surprised you have him 4th.
I think it's a tough race, man.
What about Play That Funny Music? Does Tunuzzo know you've got him behind Rudy? That could be a problem. I'm just letting you know. 2 Rudys and then Tunuzzo? He may punish you for this.
I'm going to tell you something. All kidding aside, I almost put Summer Bourbon on top in here because I like the fact that Rudy claimed this horse back, and then that horse, he popped last time out. That was one of his better races.
How much were you drinking when you thought about putting him on top?
I thought about putting him on top of me because let me ask you a question.
He runs his last race. He can't win here.
If you're right, and the Caretaker is just not doing as well as he was doing in the past, and maybe Le General was helped.
He'll lose to Play That Funny Music.
Okay.
I got a stat for Rudy, 14 for 69, 20%, $1.32 ROI, second off a claim, off a win in the dirt. They don't come back and run as well. Last time was time for him. I shouldn't say it. He runs his last race, he actually has a chance. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I wasn't going to argue with you. If he runs his last race, he's got to be right there, doesn't he?
Time Form has that figure a lot lower. I'm not sold on that horse. I don't like it today.
Okay.
I got the money with him last time. I think Play That Funny Music's dropping. He may be a little off form, but I think he's meeting easier company. I like Le General, so I don't have any problem here.
You know, and I also think that you look at Play That Funny Music and you see the big win going the mile when Michael first claimed this horse. And
your ex-friend Mike Tunuzzo?
I think you have to wonder.
Former friend?
I think you have to wonder how much the moisture in the track helped the cause going the mile that day. And maybe this horse might be better.
Oh, now moisture's coming out. Now it's a moisture.
I think
after passing. What about the biggest fig he ran on a fast track? That doesn't bother you?
No, I said I think the cutback's going to help him more.
Yeah, I'm saying, but I don't think the moisture matters.
Okay.
So you stole my horse the last race. You proud of yourself?
How did I steal
You
your
stole
horse?
my horse the
Hold on
last
a
race.
second.
You stole my
Time out.
Schosberg horse.
Time out.
You know what you did.
Time out.
You know
Time
what
out.
you did.
Time out.
Look,
I
he's
did
even
not steal your
laughing.
Schosberg
He's
horse.
even laughing.
Number one, when this horse won 3 starts back,
He beat you for a fortune.
I went to the other turf.
Why do you like? Why do you like her
third.
today? Wait, inspector. There's an inspector in the paddock at Gulfstream.
You gotta stop looking over there, man. Just turn your attention that way. Turn your attention that way.
Can we turn
I
to
just
our
think-
8th race
I
picks
just think-
so we can at least discuss what I'm making fun of Anthony about here? Thank you so
I don't want to
much.
stop, man.
Why do you like this horse?
We think you got
Same
a lot of-
picks.
Yeah, same picks.
I won't be betting the 8th today,
And the
guys.
most amazing part of it is we both had Miss Mimi second, and she came out. We both had the same 5th pick.
Yeah, I was
On
drinking.
5?
No, I'm not touching anybody these days.
I don't have coronavirus, bro. I'm good.
I'm not even worried about that. I don't worry about those overrated things.
You know, her consistency. Last time out, she lost all chance at the start. It's me. It's a scam likely call. She
Well, she
lost all
jumped up
chance
with
at the
her. Yeah, I
start
agree.
last time,
I agree.
Right? And if you look at her other 2 dirt races, she's been the most consistent dirt horse in this race. I mean, what else?
What do you do with this horse, Sea Sparkle? That you and I, that she could be favored in here, and you and I have both left her off the board.
I mean, that's an aberration last time, isn't it?
Aberration? Aberration.
Aberration?
You're thinking of apparitions. You see them a lot, apparitions. Constantly. How often do you see an apparition?
That was something. I'm pretty sure my old Jack Russell makeup roams my house still, so I see her a lot. I see a lot of
I
white
feel like
on
the
floor.
cat is still at my mom's house.
I'm sure she is, or he is.
Yeah, this was a very funny race last time where the main speed didn't break and it changed the whole dynamic of the race. This horse is going to beat me too, I agree. I basically want to use Quietude and Cape Cod Diva. Rick's done a good job with his horses. They've been running well quietly for the last year, and I thought Quietude was dangerous as well. We'll see.
Questec was a little interesting.
She never wins.
I know.
There isn't a lot of speed in here, though.
No,
But winner for J and C Sparkle.
Winner for J and C Sparkle. That should be enough, though,
Problem
right?
with Questec is she never wins.
No, she doesn't win.
Well, we have the same picks to close it out for whatever that's worth.
That's amazing.
All right, we got lots of slate. Okay, with Fountain of Youth, you like Dennis's moment?
And I like Country Grammar a little bit.
Isn't As Seen on TV the kind of the biggest threat to Dennis's moment?
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so.
I like him more than Chance.
Be curious to see
I
what
think he'll be
happens.
better going longer than Chance it will
Be
be.
curious what happens tomorrow at scratch time, too.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of talk that he's going to scratch Chance.
I think he's going to scratch.
Really?
Yeah.
Going to Tampa? Well,
I do.
Getting a bunch of no-hopers to increase the field size when you start the race right on top of the turn might not be the fairest thing to do when you've got some legitimate Derby hopefuls. Now, I don't think the Chance is a legitimate Derby hopeful, personally, but other people will disagree with that, but he definitely was hurt by the draw. I was with Pat Biancone with Ete Indian. Is that how you pronounce it, Ete Indian?
Yeah. He ran well in the Holy Bull.
Any big opinions on the undercard? I looked at those races at Gulfstream.
You'll have to tune in tonight. Weekend Stakes Preview presented by Naira Bets on HRN.
Who do you like in the Gulfstream Park hand, the mile race?
They're all blurring in
Mr. Freeze is in
I'm
there?
a Mr. Freeze fan. I'm a big Mr. Freeze guy.
Which Mr. Freeze did you like the most? I preferred Otto Preminger as Mr. Freeze.
Yeah,
I thought Otto Preminger was a killer Mr. Freeze.
I guess I remember Schwarzenegger the best, right? Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the real Batman. You know, Frank Gorshin is
Frank
the
Gorshin and
Riddler.
everybody, yeah.
Caesar Romero is the Joker. Who could be better
wasn't
than
born.
Caesar Romero? You've seen them.
Of course, I've seen them, but I don't remember the
A lot of different Catwomans.
actors.
Really interesting.
Well,
people
Eartha Kitt
played.
was the best Catwoman.
Yeah, there were a lot. Julie Newmar.
Julie Newmar was all right, but Eartha Kitt was a great Catwoman.
There's a lot of good.
I think she was more cat than woman.
That's a good show. There's good stuff on that show. King Tut.
King Tut was great.
I was a big fan of King Tut. Anyway, head over to Naira Bets, King Tut fan or not. We'll match up to a $200 deposit bonus. New members only. The promo code is Big A.
That's me.
50%, I'm sorry, 20% winners bonus. The early pick 4, race 2 through 5 today. App only. That's Fridays here at Aqueduct, the Gotham Betting Challenge. A week from tomorrow. You have until 6 days from today, a week from yesterday, 5 p.m. to sign up. Go to naira.com/challenge. $500 entry fee, $250 for your live bankroll, $250 towards the prize pool. You can play it at Aqueduct here with me in the Big A or online with Naira Bets.
You made Thursday very complicated just now.
I know. My mind works in strange ways. The Cross Country Pick 5 is back tomorrow. We're going to attempt this time to start it at Tampa. You know, you almost admire the confidence to try again after last week. Tampa's 8th, Aqueduct 7th, Gulfstream 6th, Aqueduct's 8th, Oaklawn 7th. They will all of them will be part of an extravaganza of, I believe, 6, 12, 17, 18 races.
Boom.
On America's Day at the Races. That's from 3 to 6:30. Whole crew will be here. Maggie will come by and visit us. Maggie's going to be back pretty much in March. Boy, is she bored at home.
I don't think she's bored. I just think
she's not home, buddy. You know what I love about Maggie now that you know she has with the newborn? She like retweeted something I tweeted like 11:30 the other night. If before having children, Maggie hadn't been up at 11:30 in about 10 years.
I think I woke up this morning for like an hour at like 3:45 in the morning. There were 5 people on Facebook. Maggie was one of them.
Yeah, I was going to text her that night and say like I like the Maggie, you know, the Maggie. That's the Saudi Cup, by the way. That's noon to 1 tomorrow on FS1. We'll be covering that race. Post time is 12:04 for the Saudi Cup. We're done. You're calling the 4th race?
Yes.
The man who's calling the others, Johnny I, is up right now with the reprise, the scratches and changes.